so that we'll be able to record this meeting. So we are recording the meeting. We'll go ahead and get started. I want to say thank you for allowing your children to be involved in our programs. If it wasn't out for you, we wouldn't have a program here at Greene County Tech. And I sincerely thank you for allowing your children to be involved in programs that I think are going to make your kids better as people and as adults when they grow older. So we've got an opportunity to play football and cheer and dance and have a band. And so we want to try to do everything we can do to continue that opportunity and play 10 football games this season. And to do that, we've got to follow some guidelines that are not in our control. Arkansas Department of Health has put out some strict guidelines on what we have to do to be able to play a football game. And the Arkansas Activities Association has given us some guidelines as well that we need to follow. And I don't like them. I don't understand them all. I'm not a political person. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to politics. I get up in the morning, I go to work and do my thing, and I don't understand that stuff anyway. So asking parents to wear a mask at a football game is not a political agenda that I have. The only agenda that I have about asking people to wear a mask is that's what we've been told we have to do to be able to play a football game. And I want our kids to be able to play a football game. And I want our cheerleaders and dance team members to cheer and dance at that football game. And I want our band members to play their instruments at that football game. And I want parents to be able to come and enjoy watching their kids play. That's my only agenda. And so I think that it's a really small price to pay to watch your child play. My son's graduated. He's been out of school. He's 26 years old. But if they told me I had to wear a mask, all I had to do was wear a mask to get to see him play. It's no problem for me. I think the most motivated people that we have in our community and in our school district should be our parents. The most motivated to wear a mask should be our parents. Our kids' opportunity to play these sports is riding on that. So we want to do everything we can do. I do know this, that there'll be pictures taken at the football games. And if we're wearing masks and we're socially distanced in the stands and in areas around the campus, that's going to reflect positively on Greene County Tech High School. It's going to reflect positively on the parents of our school district. And it's going to reflect positively across the state to the people who are watching. When the governor or the people in the Department of Health, when they start seeing photos of ball games where people are not wearing their masks, they're gathered in large groups and not social distancing, those pictures are going to go out on social media. Parents are going to take pictures and videos of their kids' football games, and they're going to have pictures of the stands, and it's going to go out on social media. And when the people at the Department of Health and the people in the medical profession who don't want us playing high school athletics, that's going to give them leverage to put pressure on the governor to stop us from playing. Think about that for just a second. I don't want to give the Department of Health or the people in the medical profession that I don't want to give them any ammunition to put any pressure on the governor for him to pull high school athletics. And so I'm going to get off my soapbox on that, and we're going to get down to the business of what it's going to look like to come to a high school football game at Greene County Tech, and what do I have to do to get seats in the stadium, and explain, kind of figure out what's going on here. So I'm going to get right into our parent meeting, and I've got to share my screen first. I've only been the host of a couple of these, so just bear with me, okay? All right. I have shared my screen, and you should be able to see a document on your screen that says parent meeting for home football games. Can anyone, just one of you or two of you, just let me know that you can see that? Packy, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, all right, thank you. So some general information to attend a game. All spectators must wear a mask that covers their mouth and their nose at all times in the stadium. There's a couple exceptions, I'll get to those. The Department of Health states that droplets of saliva and other secretions are expelled from the respiratory tract, the mouth and the nose, while spectators are yelling for their team. Because of this potential to spread COVID-19, we are required by the Arkansas Department of Health to wear a mask at our outdoor football games. Okay? Sounds crazy that we've got to wear a mask outside and that we're going to be 6 feet away from people. But because of the screaming and yelling that goes on at football games, the Department of Health and the medical professionals say that there's a higher probability that the COVID-19 virus could be spread outdoors in that environment. That's why we have to wear a mask outside. If someone in your family group isn't wearing a mask, the first offense, we're just going to come up and we're going to ask them to put their mask on. And if they comply, we're done. If there's a second offense, we're going to tell them that, hey, if I have to ask you to put your mask on again, we're going to ask you to leave. If they don't want to comply with the first offense, I spoke with Mr. Weeks and Mr. Garish, and what do we do when they don't want to comply? We don't want to cause a big scene and have the sheriff's deputies come up and drag you out of the bleachers and take you out of the stadium. Our plan will be, if you don't want to comply with us, you will not come back to another football game. You're done, okay? It's going to be that simple. I want our kids to play football, and I don't want somebody not wearing a mask to ruin that. I also want to make our fans feel comfortable. Hey, I've got an underlying health condition. This guy that's right behind me screaming and yelling, and he's not wearing a mask. I want, as a fan, I want that person to wear a mask because I'm afraid I could get sick. We have a right not to wear a mask, and if you don't want to wear a mask, just don't come to our games. If you have a family member that's going to be in your group at the ball games, you might want to talk to them about them not actually coming to the game to just avoid those issues. Please understand that as the parent of the child that's playing, you're responsible for the people that you bring with you to the ball game. And if they're not acting right, it could reflect on you in some way. There are some exceptions to wearing a mask. Children under 10 do not have to wear one. Adults who have a medical condition do not have to wear one. Now, if you've got a medical condition, why would you not want to wear a mask? I think they'd be the ones that you would maybe want to wear the mask the most. We ask that if you don't wear a mask because of a medical condition, that you wear a face shield. If someone in your group has a medical condition where they can't wear a mask, please contact us prior to the day of the game so we can talk about them coming. It's not that we're going to tell them they can't, but we want to talk to you about it before the day of the ball game so we can maybe work out something out where they could wear a mask and that sort of thing. Spectators are not required to wear a mask while they're eating, and they're not required to wear a mask while they're taking a drink. We've hosted 2 volleyball matches, a junior high match and a senior high match. And at the junior high match, I told 2 parents to put their masks on, and they both had taken them off for a second for whatever reason, and I think they just forgot to put them back up. Both of them put it back up, no problems. Everybody else wore a mask, and it was great. The kids got to play. Played a senior high game, and we had to talk to one of our parents about wearing their mask, and that was it. So our volleyball did great. And what I told them after the game was, it was evident to me that volleyball parents want to see their kids play, so they're going to do what they need to do. And so I hope that our football parents and the fans that get to come to the games will do the same. That's one of our big worries. I worry about it. I worry that, I ask this question: which will be worse? What do you think's worse? Us not getting to play football this year because of being shut down by the Department of Health for the COVID-19 virus? Or would it be worse if we get shut down because our spectators can't social distance and they can't wear a mask? Your coworker's lunch. I've got, if you would go ahead and mute your microphone, please.
Kids grow so fast.
So I guess I can take it if we have a bad outbreak in society and the numbers get way too high and they have to shut us down, or we have kids who get sick on our team and we get shut down. I can take that as part of the virus. I won't like it. But man, if we got shut down because we're not wearing a mask and the Department of Health said we weren't doing a good enough job, that's going to be hard to swallow. That's going to be hard to swallow for our kids. All spectators must remain seated or standing in their designated area. Children must sit with their parents in their family group. Okay. We're going to sell spaces in the bleachers, spaces on the grounds for families to sit in together. Okay. And if you've got between 3 to 5 people in your family, we're going to have spots that 3 to 5 people can sit in. There's going to be spots where 7 people can't sit, 6 people can't sit there because we don't have the room for you to sit there. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. We're going to open our ticket gates at 5:30. That's when we'll open the gates to the stadium, and all of our parents are going to have reserved places in the stadium, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Social distancing, we're going to have marks on the ground at the ticket gate, the concession stand and bathroom for you to stand on, so you stay up away from the people that are in front of you in line, and we can be socially distanced there. Our band is going to set up in the south D zone of the stadium, and the D zone is the area behind the goalpost. In the curve of the track, it kind of forms a D. So that's where our band's going to be. The south end zone is the one that's closest to Highway 412. Okay, we're already here in the Zoom, and we're going to Zoom each week. We're going to Zoom to draw for tickets to the ball game each home game on Friday nights. And when we're talking about this, we're talking about just senior high games. Junior high games, we're going to have plenty of room for people. We won't have to have designated seats. You'll just be able to find a seat that's available because the stadium won't be that full. So the Zoom link your child can email to you through any device where you can click and log into it. Okay. When we come into the Zoom, if we don't know who you are, we're going to ask you to put your first and last name in there. If you don't know how to do it, like we did tonight, hey, show your face, let me know kind of who you might be, and we'll let you come in. The Google form has to be submitted through your child's account. This first Google form that I set up where they could only submit one time. We have kids who come from, who have multiple households, and they really need to be able to submit twice. So we've had some difficulties with that form for some of the parents because it has to come through the child's school's Gmail account, and that's the email account that ends in gctschools.net. That is their official school, what we call a Gmail account. So the Google form where we request tickets comes comes through the school's email, the child cannot forward that form to you to make it work. At least I haven't figured that part out yet. What I can do for some of you, and what I will do, hopefully, is be able to send you a separate email to your own email account and give you access, and hopefully that will work so we can work through that glitch. If you're getting permission issues through your child's Gmail account from the school, you may be logged into multiple Gmail accounts. If you'll log out of all those Gmail accounts and then log back into the child's Gmail account, then those permission issues should go away. As of just a little bit ago, I think I've got over 115 requests for tickets from families. So that means that we've got quite a few people that have said that they're either coming, or at least they filled the form out. So we've had some questions about season passes. We will not be selling season passes this year. Felt like if we sold season passes, a couple things can happen. One, the season could get canceled, and now we're refunding a bunch of money to people, and just the headache of that. Also, if we sell a season pass, we have to guarantee you a spot for every home game. Well, it might rain and the band might not play. So if I'm a band parent, maybe you don't come to the game that night. We've sold season passes. You've got reserved seats, and now we don't sell those seats because we didn't know you weren't going to be there. So we're going to do a week-by-week lottery for our tickets. Athlete passes. Athletes will get into the games free. We are going to come up with a system to let them in free. We had initially talked about not doing that. But the athlete will have to come in with their parent, okay? They'll have to sit with their parent. If an athlete sits in a section that 5 people could sit in, they've just wasted 4 tickets for people to be able to come into the ball game. We want to make sure that we maximize our seating capacity and let as many people into the game as we possibly can and still be socially distanced and follow the Department of Health guidelines. So athletes will have a pass, but that doesn't mean they get in the game unless they're in with a parent of one of the members of the group we're talking about. Senior high band, senior high cheer, senior high dance, senior high football. Okay. I don't know if there's people in the waiting room trying to get in. Okay, here's one right here. Okay. Athlete passes. An athlete, we're going to have a student section. I'll talk more about that later. If I'm an athlete, I'm involved. Let's say I'm a basketball player, and we are going to have a student section. And for me to get in on my own as a single ticket holder, I've got to win a lottery drawing that's going to be held at school, and I'm going to get a voucher that says, I'm going to take it to the ticket booth. I'm going to say, here's my voucher to get in. Here's my athlete pass, and I get in free, okay? Athletes who do not receive a student section lottery must sit with their family, okay? Athletes who win a lottery section lottery voucher will get in free and sit in the student section. And again, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Employee passes. Employee passes will be given to those employees who have a child or a grandchild in the band, cheer, dance, or football programs. The employee who is a grandparent and not the sole caregiver will have to be seated in the group with the parent. We won't have enough space to give a grandparent section to go sit in a seat of 4 and a parent to go sit in a seat of 4. So if you're a school employee and you're a grandparent, you need to get into the game with the parent of the child who's on the football team, the cheerleading squad, the band, or the dance team. If I'm an employee of the school, but my child is not in one of those programs, I do not get a voucher to get into the stadium. Okay. All right, due to limited seating in the stadium and trying to get all of our parents in, we potentially could not have walk-up ticket purchases, okay? It may be such a thing that the game is sold out and the only way you get in is if you have a voucher to get into the ball game, okay? The voucher system, and this is for senior high football only, and then the lottery for the volleyball games. We'll have to do a lottery for kids at the volleyball games, especially when we play our crosstown rival. We'll have 100 kids that want to get in, and we've really only got 30 or 40 spots for students at our volleyball games. So children who have parents that live in separate household will get 2 family sections to accommodate each household, okay? So, we've asked how many tickets do you need, and some people have said 3, some said 4, some people have said I need 8. Well, you won't be able to get 8 people in one of our spots. So you're going to have to decide who you're going to bring to the game that night. But kids who have 2 separate households, mom and dad are divorced, those kids, mom and dad will both get a section for their family to sit. And I'm going to talk about the sections here a little bit, and hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense to you. We're going to give new vouchers each week, each home game. We're going to do another lottery drawing, and it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday in the week. Maybe by Wednesday they're calling for nice sunny skies. We know the band's going to be there. Every group's going to be there, and we're going to have a big crowd. We're going to do it late in the week, as close to the game as we can, to make sure that everybody that's going to come to the game or says they're coming to the game comes to the game, if that makes any sense. If we did vouchers for the ball game on Monday or something like that, and then we have a bad storm come in and it's going to be lightning and raining, and then the band's not going to perform, so we're going to try to delay this voucher lottery system as late as we can, to have an accurate of account of people who are coming to the game before the ball game. So how can we get the vouchers to the parents? Couple ways. One, we can give the vouchers to your child, and the voucher will be this. If I've got 6 people in my family group that are all going to sit with me, I'm going to get 6 vouchers, okay? And then you can give those vouchers to your parents or whoever's going to sit in your family group. And then if you get to the game at 5:30 and your wife or your husband or your mom or dad come in as the grandparent a little bit later, they'll have a ticket, they'll have a voucher, they'll pay for their tickets at the gate, and they'll come into your group and sit down with you. That way you all won't have to be in one group to come together. So you'll get voucher tickets. All that voucher ticket does is say, hey, I'm guaranteed to come in the game. Here's my voucher ticket. How much do I owe to get 3 of us in? It's $5 a ticket. Okay, give us your $15. Come on in, enjoy the ball game. Go sit in the section that you chose when we drew for seating assignments. Parents could come to the high school and pick them up, okay? Or we're going to check with the booster clubs. Maybe there could be a band booster table outside the stadium at the south end on the home side, and that's where band parents go to pick up their vouchers to take to the ticket gate, or the quarterback club, something of that nature. Again, each member of the family will get a voucher. So if you needed 4, you have 4 people, you get 4 vouchers. They all have to sit with you in your family pod. Voucher guarantees that you have a place to sit with your family. Okay, still have to purchase a ticket. Again, they're $5 for parent and student. Children below kindergarten age, non-school age children will be admitted free, but they've got to have a voucher. Okay, they have to have a voucher to get in. Now, when you tell us how many vouchers you need, you include them in that list. Tickets and seating are on a game-by-game basis. I've kind of already covered that. If it rains or something like that, some of the prime seating sections may not be used. Rain could make some of the hillside areas unusable, so we could lose some seating on the rainy games there as well. One thing, if something comes up last minute, you ask for a space in the stadium for your family to sit, and all of a sudden you cannot attend, let us know, and we'll make sure that space is available for somebody else. We'd kind of like to have a chart of the stadium as people are coming up and say, hey, we're sold out, or yeah, we've got 4 spots left. There's a spot down in section 4. There's 2 spots up on the hill. Go up on the hill and find one of the 2 empty squares up there. So let us know if you're not going to, if something happens and you can't attend. All right, the process for the lottery tickets, lottery drawings, and Zoom selection meetings will be separated by the seating preference you indicated on the Google form. I'm going to try to do that. Everybody that wanted down at the track level, we'll have a Zoom for you guys, and we'll draw for your seats. And then if you don't get there, you'll come back in and into another Zoom meeting and draw for some spots. We are going to put all the names of the seniors in a hat, and we're going to draw those names out, and that will be the order that you get to select your tickets in the stadium. Once the selection order is determined for the seniors, we'll have a Zoom meeting, and each parent will select their seating. Once that's gone, then once we're finished with the seniors, then we'll do the same thing for the juniors and then the sophomores. Okay, I'm going to unshare my screen for a second, and I'm going to share with you my screen again. And I'm going to go through the seating arrangements in the stadium. Okay. If you're standing down in front of the home bleachers and you're at the far north end, you're down by the quarterback club's little shed. The main ticket booth is over here, the bathrooms and the concession stand in the 7th grade football locker room. We've got 5 rows available. Each one of these rows in section 1, there's 3 sections of bleachers where we can seat families in this first section. This distance from here to here is 6 feet. Okay, 6 feet. How many adults can you get in this 6 feet section? People my size, you get about 3.5 in there. Okay. If you're smaller and you've got a couple of young children with you that don't take up a lot of space, you could maybe get 5 people in here. Okay. So we've got 5 rows. We've got 5 rows. This bench right here, if this is the kind of there's a rail or a fence through here, and then this is a long 28-foot bench, and we've made 3 seating spots on this bench. Okay, so we can get 6, 12, and 18 families in section 1. In section 2, we've got the same thing, but at the front, we don't have that big, long bench. We've got 2 aluminum benches, and you can maybe seat 7 people on that bench, and they're right at the track. This would be like the fence, and then down here would be the track. Okay. Section 2, this northernmost side starts at the 10-yard line, and it goes to the 21-yard line at the other end. That's where it is in the bleachers. Section 3, it's going to start at the 23-yard line. So these seats are looking down the 23-yard line. These seats are looking down the 33-yard line. And again, 2 7-foot so benches that fit about 7 people. Section 4, same situation. 36-yard line out to the 46-yard line. Section 5 goes from the northern 49-yard line to the southern 41, so the 50-yard line is going to be about right in here. Okay? There's a handicapped area here, and then a 7-foot bench, or a bench that'll seat about 7 people. Now, if this is 6 feet, what I'd want to do is I'd want to get my family members that are going to come to the game with me if I want to sit in the bleachers, and I'm going to measure out 6 feet on a bench, on the curb in front of the house or something. And then we're going to sit on it and see if we can fit within that 6 feet. If you're a few inches over that 6 feet, we're probably not going to say anything, because maybe these people over here only have 3 people and they've got an extra foot over here. So you've got 6 feet of distance. But if you can't even get 3 or 4 in here, there's no sense in trying to bring 5 people to the game. Okay? If you don't fit, you may need to reduce the number of people that are coming with you, or go sit on the hill where we can get more people. Or maybe you get one of these benches right here that can accommodate more people. Okay? The 6th section starts at the southern 39-yard line, and it goes to the southern 28-yard line, and it is for band parents only. Band parents only. Okay? And then section 7, this is the aluminum bleachers that the band played in last year. And I don't know what yard lines. I forgot to look, but it's going to be, I'm going to say, if this was at the 28, these are going to probably be around the 20-yard line down to maybe the goal line or the 5-yard line or something like that. Okay. So that's those areas. We've got a band grass area that's down on the track level. This would be the southern band concession stand. This would be the sidewalk that the visiting football team comes in and out during home ball games. And this is the track, and you know where the track's got our straight run out on it. The curve's kind of in here. And then we've got the band buses and the sheriff deputies all parking here. We have 10 spaces. One family can sit in this space right here. The space is 8 feet wide, and these are 6 feet deep. Okay? Go out there and take a look. Take 4 or 5 bag chairs. Can you get 5 bag chairs in that box right there? How many bag chairs can you get in there? How many family members could I stand in that box if we stood the whole time? Go out there and check them out. We think you can get 5 or 6 people. You might be able to get 4 to 5 bag chairs in there. So we've got 10 spaces there that we're calling band grass area, track level. And then we have 2 sets of 10 spaces. These are 8 feet wide, 6 feet apart. These are 7 feet deep. Okay, the track runs right down the front edge of those boxes, and this back edge is the block wall right in front of the home concession or home bleachers. Okay, the S1 would be the box on the south side of the 50-yard line, and this is going to be around the 45-yard line, somewhere in there. We haven't drawn these out yet. And then we'll go back. The south 10 spot, that's going to be closest to the band. And then these 2 or 3 are going to be more closer to cheer and dance. And then these are on the north side of the 50-yard line, which is the hillside, closest to the hill. And these would be more for cheer and dance folks here. And okay. So that's kind of a look at what our seating options look like. And I'm going to go back to, well, see if this will work. Can someone tell me if you can see the kind of outline of the presentation tonight, or are we still looking at the seating chart?
I can see it.
Okay, thank you, Packy. Okay, so I think Wednesday night may turn into Thursday. I don't know. I think Wednesdays we're going to try to do this. I've got a volleyball parent meeting on Wednesday as well, but we're going to try to do this on Wednesday so everybody knows where they're going to be sitting. We'll have it all laid out. We'll email kids copies. We'll have copies at the stadium where you can look. If I'm organized enough, I'll get some labels with your names printed on them and stuck on the tape at the bleachers so you'll know where to sit. Okay. We have roughly 208 family places. Okay. I haven't talked about the stuff up on the hill. Up on the hill, we've got spaces marked off. If you've been out there and taken a look, they're on flat ground. They'd be great to sit in a bag chair. You could get maybe 4 bag chairs in those. Some of these 208 spaces are on the side of the hill, and sitting in a bag chair is not going to work for you. You might be able to stand if you can stand for 3 or 4 hours. You might be able to throw a blanket down. I've sat down out there, laid down out there. It's pretty comfortable. But again, if the grass is wet from rain, it could be pretty difficult to stand there. All family members must be seated in the area marked for the seating. And the only time you can leave your area is to go to the bathroom, the concession stand, or to leave the stadium. Bleacher seating, again, most of it's 6 feet wide in most areas, and we'll seat 4 large people, 5 if you have smaller children with you. The spots on the ground, you can get 6 people in there easy, standing, 3 in the front and 3 in the back. The 3 front row bleacher seating areas are longer that I talked about. You could maybe get 6 or 7 people in there. If you have time, go out to the stadium with your family members and all sit out there and see if you fit on different places. The more information you have about your options and what you're getting into, I think the better off you'll be. It's not going to be perfect, but we're trying to do everything we can do to get everybody in our stadium. Again, the track level seating in front of the home bleachers, you can fit 5 or 6 in there if they're standing, 4 if they're seated in a bag chair. The track level seating that's south of the home bleachers, those are the ones that were a little bit bigger, that are right in front of the south concession stand down near where we park the band buses and the emergency vehicles. Those are a little bit bigger. You can get a few more people in there. Again, some of the areas on the hill are flat up on the very top. Some are sloped. If you have difficulty walking, that's not going to be a place for you if you have a spot that comes out to be on the side of that hill. We do have some spots. If you know where the north band concession stand is, there's a sidewalk that runs kind of right in front of, it's kind of a lower section. We've got the upper section that was all concreted last year by the quarterback club, and then it drops off with some grass and then a sidewalk underneath that. We've got 4 or 5 spots there. And then what will be neat is if it's dry, and it looks like we're going to get rain from the hurricane this week, but if it's dry up on the upper field, we've got some spots where we could back trucks in and people could sit on their tailgate, or they could sit in the bed of the truck in a bag chair or stand in the back of their truck and watch the ball game up there. We do have a student section. You know, it didn't look like we might not be able to have one until we really started kind of laying the spots out for the stadium. But we are excited. We're going to have a student section, but we're going to need help from the students to follow all those Department of Health guidelines. Space is going to be limited, so we're going to have a lottery system for those kids. We'll draw their names on Thursday and tell them that they've won a voucher to get into the student section at the ball game. Students will have to purchase that ticket when they get the game, unless they're a basketball player, a baseball player, something like that, and they've already got like a pass. Then the voucher gets them in the game, and they won't have to pay to get in. It's going to be located in the north D zone of the track, so the band's going to be down there by the D zone by 412. unfortunately, we can't get the student section and the band and the cheer and dance kind of all in the same place. So it's going to be spread out this year, and our student section will be at opposite end. Won't be great for viewing in a lot of ways because they're on flat ground. They won't be able to see the game real well, but we're going to try to stagger them all on their spots so they can at least see and maybe have a good time. We'll have spots marked off 6 feet apart where we expect those kids to stand. You know, if the kids don't stand there or they don't wear their mask, we're going to warn them. And the second time they're going to be told to leave, and then they won't get a chance to be back in the lottery. So we want to have a student section. We want to have the kids to have a good time, but we don't want to risk getting shut down by the Department of Health. Okay. I'm going to stop my screen share. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the chat. That's kind of really all I've got. I'm going to look here at the chat. It says, are grandparents allowed in our family group? Yes, they are. Can we modify our Google form if we have already turned it in? So the number of people that you submitted to me on that Google form is almost irrelevant, okay? I do kind of need to know, and I'm half tempted to redo a Google form that's going to be better for me. Everybody's filled it out. I'm getting several requests that we turned in the wrong number of tickets, and I've been overwhelmed with emails from employee people wanting passes. Hey, we didn't do this. Can you add us to that? Can you do this for this? And I'm afraid that I'm going to miss something, and then somebody's going to be really mad at me. How just by polling you guys, if I resent the form to redo it for tickets for this week's game, would you say, oh man, I've got to fill this form out again, the guy doesn't know what he's doing, this has turned into a fiasco? Or what are your thoughts? You can go ahead and type them in the chat. What would your thoughts be about me resending the form for everybody to resubmit it? It only takes a couple minutes to do, but I do know that it's a pain because you've got to go through your child's Gmail account. Okay. Got a couple if I need honest and open feedback. I don't want just, hey, you know, we're going to suck up or anything like that. It's like, man, it's and one thing that I will do, on the first one, what I did was it was one submission. Okay. What I can do, I can open it up where you can submit the form multiple times, but I'm afraid what could happen is we've got people that aren't from split families that are sending it multiple times, and that could be confusing to me. So there's a little bit of danger with that. I'm going to go back up and I'm going to read some of the other questions, and then I'll come through some of these other chats, okay? Let me see. Are grandparents allowed in our family group? Yes, they are. And if I decide not to send the form, really, if you said I need 6 vouchers and now you want to add 2 more to it, and you need 8, I don't think I can give you 8 because you're not going to be able to squeeze 8 people into a spot, I don't think, okay? If you turned in for 2 and you need 4, then that's something that we can correct pretty simply. I've got someone that says, yes, if you sent the form out, that wouldn't be a big deal. The next one is Ms. Straub, or Mr. Straub, Jackie Straub. Are the senior citizen passes still being honored? Yes, but with this caveat. If they're not coming to the game with a parent, if you don't have them in your group as a parent of one of the performers, they don't get in, okay? Unless we have available places for them to stay in the stadium by themselves. If we had a spot on the hillside that was unsold and they were at the front of the line to come in, they would get in with their citizens pass. But we're going to sell out on the bleachers. We're going to sell out on all the good seating before they even get a chance to come in. But if the person with the senior citizen pass is your mom or dad, and you have a child on the team, they can come sit with you and the family, and that pass will be honored. Okay, Ms. Jackie Straub, did I answer that question for you? You can unmute and say yes or no.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, my son is in a split family, and he is a senior, and it's said to email you for my tickets. Okay. Yes, I did. I told them I told the kids with a split family that if they've already submitted once, to have the other person email me. But on the new form, your child could submit that form twice, and he could put his dad's name on the first submission and how many tickets his dad would need, and then on the second submission, he could put his mom's name, and then I would say, okay, here's the two. We know that's from one child, and we would be able to work it that way. Okay. Got another one that says, will we have special passes for our booster parents that are working the concession stand to get in? Yes, sir. We'll get some special passes made, or you get a list, Mr. Gooch. You get a list, and you hand it to the ticket booth there have them all come in one ticket booth, and they say, and it'd probably be best if they came in the south ticket booth, just because it might be less crowded. Of course, your concession people are going to be there pretty early, so that might not matter. So we'll have if you will create a list of the people that are working concession that night, then you just give that to the people at the ticket booth. And when they come to the ticket booth, they'll say, I'm so-and-so, I'm on the list to work in the band concession stand, and they're in. They don't need a voucher. They don't need anything. They'll be on that list. Okay. I think there was a question like, well, what if they bring their kids with them? Well, they're going to have their kids in the concession stand with them. They're not going to be able to roam around and run around the stadium because we won't have a spot for their children to sit in. Okay. Now, if their child won a lottery voucher, then certainly they can go sit in the student section, or if they're with another family who, they're with one of the other, they have, maybe dad's working the concession stand, mom's out there watching the older child perform in the band, and they can get them in that way with that family group. Okay. We can always get someone in who's a family member with a parent who is on the cheer, dance, football, or band. Okay. Just as long as they've got space. Okay, I've got one person that says they'll do it with no problem. Got one that says no issues. We could do it. I'll have the kiddo do it too. LOL. I think you need to send the form I think you need to basically, I guess, resend the form so the split families. Okay. Thank you for all of your efforts. No, I don't need to change for first game, but grandparents may want to come to games in the future. Okay, I'm only talking about 2 or more, which would only be 4. So if you put down, hey, I only need 2 tickets, we're going to do this week to week. And so next week, if you've got grandparents coming, then you put down that you need 4. Because really, 2 people or 4 people doesn't matter, because 2 people and 4 people can sit in the same section. So you're not taking up another space for another family to sit in, if that makes sense, right? When you go from 4 to 12, now we need not only you're taking one of the 208 spots, you're taking 3 of the 208 spots, and we just can't give 3 spots to every family. We'd run out right away. And we will send out the form each week before each home game, and then we're going to redraw. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to redraw or just if people say, hey, we sit in this section and we're not coming, and you can let somebody else upgrade their seats, we could potentially do that. But we will draw for seats this first week, and I'm thinking we're going to redraw for each home game. All right, so just to clarify, what specific steps do we need to take for each game we want to attend? I'm confused as to what I need to do as an employee with family attending as well. Okay, so I'm a parent. I'm a school employee. I get in free. I'm going to have my school employee pass that's going to get me in, and I'm going to have a voucher as a parent. You've got to have a voucher to get in. You don't get in without a voucher, and so you've got to have that voucher, and then you can show your school employee pass and you get in free. And then you take in however many people are in your family that are coming that can fit in the section that you're sitting in. So if I got one of those benches that can fit 7 people, I've got 7 people in my group that I know I can sit on that bench. If I've got seats up in the bleachers and there's only 4 of us, or there's 7 of us that I want to bring, but I can only fit 4, you need to reduce who's coming with you. We will send out a form each week to see if you're coming or not. Okay, and we will redraw for tickets in the stadium each home game. So if you got a poor lottery pick and you've got crummy seats the first week, you might get better seats the next week. So instead of having just on the luck of the draw, you get prime seats all year long, we're going to move it around. Now, what we will do is the senior parents will get first pick each week, and then the junior parents, and then the sophomore parents. Okay, we will follow that same pecking order each week. And there might be some games where a lot of people don't show up, and you might be a junior parent that had a bad lottery pick, but you still got good seats because there weren't that many people coming. We have not even heard or seen the form, okay? I sent the form out a while back to your child's school's Gmail account, okay? If you will privately send me the name of your child, I will re-email your child that form. Now, if your child's in the band, that email came from the band director. It did not come from me. The cheer, dance, and football came from me. I had all those names. I typed them all into one big mass group email thing. So I type in football ticket requests, and it goes to all the kids in those sports. I haven't seen a list of all the kids in the band to type all those into that group. Miss Webb was sending that out to you. So let me know what sport they're in, what their name is, and I can send you that. I can send your child that form. That's where it will be. Let's see. How are students and parents receiving the ticket vouchers? Okay. Talked about that up a little bit earlier. We'll either give them to the child on Thursday, and then they take them home and give them to mom or dad, and mom or dad gets them to all the different people in their family group that are coming. Or parent can come up on Friday morning, Thursday afternoon, and pick them up. Or we're going to reach out to the booster clubs to see if they'd set a table up outside the stadium, and we'd have an envelope with the vouchers in the envelope with your name on them, and you could pick them up there. So that's kind of how we'll pass out the vouchers. I got one that says, I wouldn't mind to fill it out, but my child didn't say anything about a form. Okay. We need to be checking with our child to see if they've got the form. We try to put it out on Facebook. I've got a Twitter that I put out on, hey, parents, check your child's Gmail account for some important information. I think the quarterback club, they might be putting that stuff out on their website. Hopefully Miss Webb's putting it out on the band website. I think maybe some of them use a Remind app or a GroupMe app, and you need to be tuned into those apps to get that information. And you won't get the form to you. It'll come to your child in their school Gmail account. Okay. For those of you who have not seen the form yet, I may try to send it to you outside of our group if you'll email me, Dale.Skank. You see my name here on the screen, Dale.Skank, S-C-H-E-N-K, and I'll type it in here in the thing. Whoops, I'm sorry, Mr. Sutton. I sent that to you privately. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. I've got one parent that says the band app is sending that out. So if your child's in the band, you need to get on that band app. My son is in a split family. Do I need to fill out the Google form? The thing about the Google form, if I send it outside of our school district, I don't think that you can access it. I'll try it. I can try to send it to a couple people outside the school's Gmail system and see if they can answer the form. If that'll work, then the people in split families, I'll just send it to you as well. I'll include you in that big group. What about a parent's guardian Gmail account set up by the school? I don't know that we have that, and I don't know that our technology would be able to do that. Okay, so got a parent that says, so I'm an employee, my mom has an alumni pass, and my dad has a senior citizen pass. All three of you would get in free. Do I count my color guard member in the number of vouchers I need? If your color guard, when you say color guard, that's not flag line. That's the color guard, the JROTC flag line, JROTC color guard that carries a flag out for the national anthem. If the member of the color guard is going to sit with you if they're going to stay at the game, they will need to be in your count. Now, they won't have to pay to get in the game, but they'll have to have one of your vouchers, and they will have to be able to sit with you up in the game because they play the national anthem and they go home. If we keep all the members of the color guard, they stay there, then we've got to have 5 more spots in the stadium that 5 families can't come in and sit in. Okay. So if we do a new form, if we do the lotto on Thursday, how will our football players get tickets to us since we don't? So we won't. We'll do it on Wednesday. We won't be able to do it Thursday. We'll do it on Wednesday. Okay. Flag line. Oh, the flag line band color guard. Okay, let me go back up and no, if they're in the band color guard or the flag line, they're not in your voucher count. They come in with the band and they stand down in the D zone. They never come up in the bleachers and sit for the game. They're out there performing. So the kids in the flag line and the band color guard, they don't need to. They're not in your voucher count. That's a good question. Cheer and dance, all the performance, the people in the cheer squad, the dance squad, out in the band, they do not need a voucher. They come in the game as part of those performance groups. You don't count them because they will not be sitting in the bleachers with you. Okay. Okay, so if you have not seen this form yet, send me an email with your child's name, and I will try to share the form with you and your personal email, and we'll see if that works. If that works, we'll cut the kids out, and I'll create a list of 200 parents' emails, and I'll try to send the form directly to your email address, okay? If we can get that accomplished, that'll cut down a lot of frustration, I think. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Is there anyone that has any other questions? or if you asked a question and I didn't answer it very well, feel free to ask a question in the chat here. Well, it looks like I don't have any more. Wait, I've got one. Oh, that's not a question, but thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. I know this system isn't going to be perfect. It's going to have snags, and it's already had some snags. But my goal is to give our parents, one, multiple options for good seating at our stadium. Two, the opportunity to see the kids play, to get in the stadium, and as many of you in the stadium as we possibly can. One thing that I did not address is road games, and we're going to be really limited on the number of tickets that we get for the road games. We are at the mercy of the host school, and they'll tell us how many tickets we get, and we're probably going to give tickets we'll start 2 tickets per player. We'll start with the seniors. We'll draw out names and we'll get in the order and we'll go down that list until we run out of tickets. I had a parent ask a pretty good question. My son's a sophomore and he's maybe going to be starting. What if I don't even get my tickets pulled? And you know, that's a hard question to answer. My response is, well, maybe there'll be a parent who got tickets and their child doesn't get to play, and maybe they'd be willing to pass them down to you. I don't know. I don't think I can ask a parent of a senior football player or a junior football player whose parents got tickets to go watch the game and ask them to give those tickets up for someone else. I could be wrong. I might be wrong, but my mindset has always been seniors first, juniors next, sophomores next, and it didn't matter from a pecking order of getting things. Didn't matter whether you're a starter or not. The seniors have been around, and I always felt like they deserve the opportunity first, and then the juniors, and then the sophomores, because their time will come. Now, that's a hard question. I could be wrong on the sophomore parent who wants to see their child play. Hopefully, it won't come to that. Hopefully, we'll have enough tickets to get all our parents in, and I think I'm just going to hope that we can get them all in. I hope that the schools that we play are doing some things to try to get everybody in there. So I got one more question here. How will we get our tickets for this Friday? Wednesday night, we're going to have a drawing, and by Thursday, hopefully, we'll be able to have your vouchers put in an envelope, and your kids can pick them up here at school and take them to you, or you could come to school Friday and pick them up, or we can have them at the game Friday, and you can come outside one of the ticket booths. Probably the southern home side ticket booth, but that's usually has the less traffic coming in it, to pick up your vouchers if you can't come to school and that sort of thing. I want to say thank you again for your time tonight, listening to me ramble. Just the last thing that I want to say, I'll say it real quick. You know what? I'm going to make mistakes. Not going to make mistakes to be mean or hateful to your child. If there's something that's going on and you don't like it, do me a favor. Send me an email. Say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about a situation, and give me just a little detail about it. I'd like to talk to you about the game last night. Or I'd like to talk to you about a decision you made. Call me or send me an email, and we'll set up a time to talk. Just do this for me. Don't go out on social media and bash me and say that I'm an idiot and don't deserve to have a job and those sort of things. Give me an opportunity to talk to you to try to make it right, or explain why we made the decision we made. And before you go to social media, I'm going to make this promise to you. I will never go out on social media and say anything derogatory about you or your child. I'm not going to do it. And I'd appreciate that courtesy. If you've talked to me and you didn't like what I said, then you want to go on social media and say something, I guess you're welcome to. You at least did what I asked by talking to me about it. I appreciate your time and thank you. And I don't know that there are any more questions. Yeah, online vouchers would be great and be able to pay online. And there are companies that do that. They charge a fee. I don't know how much that fee is. It takes a while to get that stuff set up. And quite frankly, if we put it out online, I don't know how we limit it to where our parents, maybe we can limit it to where the parents are the only ones that have an opportunity to get a voucher. If I'm a senior parent and it goes to online and it gets opened up to everybody and I don't even get a ticket because they were gone before I had an opportunity, that I don't know how all that stuff works, but that'd be a great solution. Paying, you can pay at the gate, I think, just as easy as you could pay online. We're kind of, maybe we're too late for this week. Maybe we could look at something for the next ball game, but that's a good idea. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the meeting and end the recording. And